All right, Jeff here at StopThePirates.blogspot.com. I just want to kind of do an overview of what to do when you get a bill in the mail. I don't get a lot of them. What I do is, what I do get, I handle immediately, because the worst thing you can do is do nothing. And unfortunately, a lot of people out there do that, and then they get into trouble. It's like, oh, I got a sale date, 2 weeks. Well, you waited too long. Did you call them back when they sent you the letter from the attorney? No. Well, anyway, I've gone round and round with this medical bill for a while, and this is interesting. I haven't opened this yet. And I told them keep sending to send me a bill, because they keep sending me a statement with a positive number on it. And I just do an A for B and send it back to them. I said, I accept your offer, and here, go ahead and set it off. Because let me tell you this. Now on this one they sent me, it says this is a bill on it. So this is interesting that they sent me that. And what is this? It's a dollar bill, right? Everything is in the negative. And when I say your birth certificate is worth billions, it is, but it's not worth billions of positive gold or anything. It's debt, okay? And everything is in reverse now, because there's no positive numbers in this commercial world. Everything is in debt. So when you go to cash your paycheck, you want to get some bills, and that's what this is. You're getting a bill. They're handing you a bill, see? And this is borrowed. So you got to pay back your bills. But through the Internal Revenue Service, they're going to allow you, depending on how many bills, how much you borrow every month, enough to operate, because you are a bonded debt slave on the plantation. Say you make $25,000, they're going to allow you to keep a certain amount, and then they want the amount over that, they want that back. If you didn't give it to charity, if you didn't blah, 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 blah. So that's how that works. And I was just talking to this lady, Sherry Peel Jackson, who went to prison because she was a IRS collector and a field collector. And she would go to your small business and tell you how much you owed, and people would just lay down for her. And she tells you about, Google her and watch her videos. She says, because the slaves would just lay down. They wouldn't even question it. They would just go, yep. She'd go, you owe $80,000. They go, okay. Well, here's my check. But anyway, and we all know that the Internal Revenue Service is a collection agency for the foreign-owned International Monetary Fund. They're foreign bankers. And because there are foreign bankers and you're doing business with them, you signed away all of your your constitutional rights through adhesion contracts with these people. And because you are doing business with a foreign corporation, you fall under what's called the Trading with the Enemies Act, because you're dealing with a foreign corporation. Believe it or not, that's the truth. You can get into how the Republic is actually still there through the United States Post Office. But anyway, so I'm going to open this, and I'll show you guys. All right. This is great. So they're sending me a bill. Yeah, right on the front of it says this is the bill. That must be something new for them. It says this bill is a summarized statement of your hospital account. That's when I hurt my ankle. I had to go to the emergency room. And there's no way I'm signing up for any Obamacare or anything like that. They can't make you do any of this. But anyway, let's see. Blah, 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 blah. I went in there. The guy looked at my foot, and it was $418. Gave me a prescription. That's fine. Fantastic. But because they took away our right to pay, they took all the gold out of circulation, and they bonded your birth certificate at birth, and they use it as collateral. So that's what you're drawing off every time It's like if you have a personal checking account, the number on the bottom goes to the Federal Reserve Bank. It doesn't go to Bank America or anything like that. There's 12 Federal Reserve banks in the United States. Your bond is issued at one of them. Look on the back of your Social Security card. There's an alphanumeric number, 1 through 12 or 11, 1 through 12, or A through L, basically. This one is an F. Can you see that? So look on the back of your Social Security card and see which Federal Reserve Bank is holding your bond. This one is Nebraska. No. Atlanta. All right. Anyway, this dollar. So you and I are actually the only way they can put any of this stuff into circulation is if the U.S. citizens sign for it, or the U.S. Treasury issues bonds, which are promises to pay to the Federal Reserve, and then they give us this, and then we have to, through statutes and codes, which are they trick us into saying that they're laws. The bar attorneys out of the Temple Bar in the City of London collect for the bankers using statutes and codes. That's why there's over 800,000 statutes and codes on the books, or corporate statutes and codes. And how does that work? Why is there more people in prison in the United States than every other country, including China? I just read an article on that this morning. There's more people in prison in this country is because that's how they're paying back the debt, and that's how they're paying for the wars. Remember when they, I wasn't alive then, but in World War II, you see back the old movies, it said, buy war bonds, and you were actually loaning your money to the government, and a bond is a promise to pay. They pay you back at a certain amount of interest later at a future date. They don't do that anymore. So how have they gone? Well, now when they put you into when they get you to violate a statute or code, which it's basically everything's illegal. It's illegal to fart on a street corner. I saw someone get arrested for it. But when you sign for that, there's always a monetary value to each charge, right? No matter what it is, I'm out on a $20,000 bond or something. You have to bond the charges. Well, when the district attorney bonds a charge for you, they bond it, and they issue the security instrument, and the judge holds it in his office. And then when you go in and say, being very general here, but when you say, they'll ask you, do you understand the charge? And you say yes, and they're not asking you if you speak English. They're asking you, do you take responsibility for this charge through your straw man birth certificate bond account? Are you going to pay for this? And you go, yeah. Well, are you guilty or not guilty? Which means, are you going to gild it or not gild it? Are you going to pay or you're not going to pay? As soon as you say not guilty, which most people do, for whatever reason, because there are no facts, it's all about getting a judgment, a default judgment against you, and then they hold you as collateral. But anyway, so they say, are you not guilty? And as soon as you say you're not guilty, you're in dishonor. You just said that you're going to stand under the charges, but now you're telling me you're not going to pay, so you're immediately in dishonor. They take the bond, the charge, or the default judgment, and they bond that and insure it, and then they sell that through like Payne Webber and other insurance companies. It's all done through insurance. It's all maritime insurance companies. And they insure it, and then they sell that on the international stock market, that bond. And whenever it goes international, it starts here for like $20,000. When it goes international, they add 3 zeros to it, so it's like $2 million. I mean, and it's crazy. So that's how they've gone. That's why there's more people in prison in this country than any other country in the world, because we're dealing with what's called maritime admiralty law. And if you don't understand this stuff, you're going to get run over in the future. I'm telling you, because this is what it's all coming down to. I mean, we're not living in Andy Griffithville, Mayberry anymore. This is real. And if you don't up your street IQ on this shit, you're going to get run over. That's why I tell people, man, look, get as much info as you can on this. And I for a donation, I can give you all the information that I've collected over the years. You can do what you want with it. But there's some real valuable information that I've paid thousands of dollars for. And I ain't even saying nothing about that. I'm just trying to leg people up on this stuff. because with Obamacare now, they have access. If you sign up for that, they're going to have access to all your everything. They're already listening to everybody's phone calls and everything. And their game plan, I swear to God, believe it or not, is to get most of people into the prison system. Because if they don't, they can't pay off their debt to the international bankers. Or when they kill you, if they kill the host, and that eliminates the debt too. And then they've actually insured your birth certificate bond. So when you die, they'll get paid off like a couple mil anyway. So they want you to die, basically. That's why you go, wow, why are they giving everybody all these vaccines and getting everybody sick? And they're gonna make money on you, riding you up and then riding you down. Everything is a negotiable instrument in this maritime admiralty commercial world. Everything. So, all right. So what am I going to do with this? This is a bill. And I think what I'll do with this guy right here is just accept it for value and send it into him. And then I'll go ahead and send a 1040V. 1040V to them along with this, staple it on here, and then also to the IRS with a cover page explaining my process, my accepted for value cover page, which is included in all my stuff. So anyway, that's gonna kick this. Either they're going to discharge it immediately, or that's going to kick it over into somebody's pile, somebody's stack who really doesn't want to deal with this shit. Okay. And then I'm going to start, if I don't hear back from them within 30 days, I'm going to send them a notarized letter telling them that they're now in default. See, this is how the world works, is that it's all an administrative process. That's how the IRS gets you. If they send you a notice, I mean, a notice means something. It's not just bullshit. If I notice you, I send you a notice in the mail and go, hey, I'm coming over to your house and I'm going to I don't know. I'm going to take your yard furniture next Thursday. Now, I mean, that's crazy, but if I was a business and sent you, I mean, you guys have probably received those too. You get a notice from a lawyer or something for something from 10 years ago, and he's like, I'm going to sue you. If you just crumple that up and throw it in the trash, he could probably sue you. But if you respond to it with another notice and an administrative process, using the Fair Debt Collectors Practices Act, Truth in Lending, disclosures, all of this stuff, and it's basically easy to use, and it's fun because it's better than sitting in front of the boob tube and getting memorized by that. You can actually learn how this stuff works just by responding to them, from a letter, and a stamp and an envelope. But don't ever let a bill like this just sit around, because that's what they want. And I'll tell you right now, this is already prepaid. When I signed for it, I prepaid. I already paid for it, because you give them your Social Security number now when you go to the hospital, and they have a discharge window or whatever at the Fed where it's just reimbursed to them, and they want to double dip and see if they get you to pay another one. That's what this company is. They're just there to double dip on you, because I paid the bill. I could actually do a I could call their customer service department and tell them I want to do an electronic funds transfer. And see this number down here? This is funny. Here's the account number. On the bottom, this is actually a check. And I'll just give them that information for the electronic funds transfer. And sometimes that'll work too. I'll use the last 10 digits on this as the is the account number, and the first 10 is the route, or the other way around, the routing number. They'll go, okay, thanks. Anyway, that's all I have to say today. Go to stopthepirates.blogspot.com and get into this stuff immediately. Thanks.